this past week, Donald Trump came to Utah in order to be an asshole to all the indigenous people that have tried to get their ancient tribal lands protected, which President Obama did with his signing of the Antiquities Act stuff and making Bears Ears National Monument pretty fucking it was pretty big. It was pretty great the way that he did that, because there's been a lot of misinformation coming from the people that are against it, saying that, oh, we're not going to be allowed to hunt, we're not going to be allowed to collect firewood, we're not going to be allowed to do all this other stuff on this land. No, that's in the protected part of that land, that you're allowed to do that kind of stuff. It protects it from things like a uranium company. You guys remember how just a couple weeks ago the GOP was trying to push that Uranium One thing that Clinton was doing, and like had absolutely fuck all to do with her? And oh man, they were projecting. They were absolutely projecting, because the company, it's not the same company that we're talking about here that's going to be able to mine at the now reduced sized Bears Ears monuments. It's a different company. It's run by Canadians, of course. So
what's up with Canadians and uranium? They seem to be all over the uranium business.
That they're doing Canadian, like, and people could correct me if I'm wrong here, especially because I know we got a lot of people that listen from Canada. They have a lot of the energy businesses that they do a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got Corey that listens to the show. He does oil work up there in Saskatchewan and stuff. But we have these companies coming in and trying to corner the market when it comes to uranium. And so I just find it really interesting that Zinke told reporters on Tuesday, after he reduced this stuff, said that this is not about energy. There is no mine within Bears Ears. But the nation's sole uranium processing mill sits directly next to the boundaries that Obama designated a year ago when he set it up. And these documents show that the Energy Fuels Resources Incorporated, the subsidiary of a Canadian firm, urged the Trump administration to limit the monument to the smallest size needed to protect key objects in areas such as archaeological sites, to make it easier for them to access the radioactive ore. So, god damn it. They were projecting, and this is what came of it. We come to find out that they wanted to make it all about uranium. Uranium. Where's going to be the giant calls for, everybody to investigate this? This makes me so fucking mad, because it's just, you were so angry at the Clinton thing that didn't happen, and yet Trump and Zinke worked together with our governor and with fucking the senator Orrin Hatch to get this thing done, just to fuck over people in these towns once again. And they're not going to own up to it. They will never own up to their shit that they do wrong. And that is starting to get really old. I mean, what's really kind of strange about this one is that you can't actually mine uranium profitably right now. So this is a really long-term play that they decided had to be done.
No. They can. They do get money coming in, and that goes to the top people.
Well, with the market prices right now don't actually cover. It doesn't matter. Costs.
No, it doesn't matter, because they can fudge the numbers enough to get money coming in. They don't care about long term. That's the thing, is that the people at the top can make enough money.
Right. The politicians can make, they get their donations out of the lobbyists that want this shit to happen. And so they're all happy to, do whatever is fucking told to them by their masters, the donors.
You're forgetting the magic that is numbers, where that you can fudge. So they're just going deeper into debt. They don't care if they're going to bankrupt their companies. The actual money that comes in goes to the people at the top. They pay wages that are shittier than they should be.
Well, I'm sure mining is, it's fucking ridiculous that people want mining.
It doesn't matter if uranium is not profitable in the long term. It doesn't matter if it's not profitable in the short term, because they can turn that into actual money that goes into their bank, and then just sink a company into debt and then die.
Well, yeah, and that actually, I mean, that's happened so many times in nearby areas where then these sites are left as just fucking environmental disaster pits.
We have,
and who has to fund that? The EPA that's being defunded and destroyed, that are never going to clean up this shit.
I don't know if you saw when you were visiting here in Salt Lake, but you can see the site, like from the city, just about anywhere in Salt Lake. If you look towards the west, you can see where Kennecott had its largest landslide, like in record, like in the world. It was a landslide that caused like Richter scale type of vibrations, and it was visible like 30 miles away. Like, it was so fucking huge. It is a blight and an eyesore on what we have here in Utah, because it looked really pretty when you looked at the way before. Nope, not anymore. It looks like a fucking giant scar on the mountain.
They've destroyed 2 mountains over there.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, you know, that's part of the problem is there's all of these externalities that happen with companies that are doing whatever they're doing. But mining is one of the worst.
Yeah.
But any company that's causing environmental damage, and then they just fucking bankrupt themselves after they've taken the money out and leave the shit as an EPA Superfund site to get cleaned up, which is now probably not going to be funded, and the EPA isn't going to do shit about it. If an investor, a company or whatever wants to come in and mine something or do whatever the fuck they want, they need to be putting up a bond to clean up the shit when they're done.
Absolutely, because we even have in our history here in Utah a history of uranium poisoning communities. We have it where they left the uranium tailings that they made when they were making munitions out of this stuff, and it's poisoned groundwater. It is, the radiation has poisoned livestock and killed people. It's just,
we've got a lot of similar problems in Colorado with old gold and silver mines, and I don't know, whatever the fuck they mine
disturbing.
Up there. And there are all of these issues, and then the EPA has to come in and clean it up, which they're probably not going to do anymore. But the companies get to make their money, and then the public has to clean the shit up.
Hey, it's like sports arenas being opened in towns too.
Yeah, that's not the way that's not the way it should work. You know, what I want to know is, okay, if you want to open up, you want more energy production, whatever. Okay, you open up some area to energy production. Well, the people that are producing that energy do have to pay some money. They probably should be paying a lot more money, and that should be directed into something. It shouldn't just fucking disappear.
Yeah, it shouldn't just disappear out of the state, out of the country. I mean, you have to pay the people. You have to pay the people that are working those mining jobs. But even then, with a lot of these kind of things, they import people to do this work
and protect them, because they're going to have fucking health problems for the rest of their lives from mining that shit.
There was a quote in this article here, I don't have it in front of me, but someone said that they lost a whole generation of people due to uranium mining that happened. And this is someone from the Navajo Nation. It's just like, that's fucked up, man. And yet nobody has any conscience about it, because
and
let's
be perfectly fucking clear. The Utah legislature wanted Bears Ears reduced specifically so it could be mined. They said so. They said so.
They tried to say it's not about special interest, and yet they open it up to special interests. Go fuck yourself.
And they're also going to say, oh, the mining it actually helps everybody because of, you know, whatever.
Except the locals wanted it to be a monument because that area thrives off tourism. That's the entire economy there.
Yeah, people aren't going to come in from out of state to go see mountains that have been decimated by mining.
And BLM land is magical. That shit's great because you can pay your fee to get into wherever it is, and then you can just go because it's public land. You can go out there. You can go to the middle of fucking nowhere wilderness and like disappear for a couple of days. People People need to realize how important it is to unplug every once in a while.
Well, and I don't know that I'm not totally up on the distinctions between a national park and a national reserve and a national monument and all this shit.
Yeah.
And maybe there is a case to be made that having it as a national monument, which, as I understand it, bars any motorized vehicles or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe it was too big for that. Maybe it should have been scaled back, and there should be some area where
you allow those
I like to ride ATVs, where you could go do that. But that doesn't mean it needs to be
open
for mining,
open for business. Yeah.
I mean, yes, I would love to ride through those areas on a 4-wheeler, but I don't necessarily want to ride through them if they're mining uranium. I mean, I don't know what the radioactive issues are there, but I'm going to avoid those areas.
Yeah, all that really dark clay looking sand,
Right.
I glow at night.
I've had a vasectomy, so I don't need to worry about any issues there. But
I would rather not shit blood for the rest of my short life